Morning, Tom. Alright. So, like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the Animal Lens update. Just to highlight some standouts. I don't believe there's any new Tier 1 relics. Hello, Daza. Chains were definitely added to the record lab. I'll get to those. Nope. No Tier 1 relics. But there is definitely a lot of Tier 2. In fact, that's the main thrust of this record lab update. Is Tier 2 because glints get added to the game, and there are many, many good glints. I think there is, Adia. Once I get sick of the song, I'll change over to it, if it's there. Alright, so I'm gonna need to... Warrior of Light. I believe Warrior of Light's glint is Start Battle with Unholy. So, not Start Battle with Unholy, but, you know, stacking an element. That's the best glints that you can get from this update. Some healer glints aren't bad. Like Selfie's a terrible healer, so her ability to Medica for 250 soul break points is pretty cool, right? Noctis Glint 2 is good, yeah. If you use his Awakening, because I don't think his Sync gives him 100% crit. But it's still, that's fine, because if you've got Tyro's Awakening... you still have a way to get 100% crit, and so anytime that you're able to get 100% crit and also be able to stack crit damage 50% on top of that is a good thing. We learned that a long time ago with Zack's Chain and Cloud's USB. Well, yeah, Shantota's isn't good because it's not a stacking glint. But Maya's is good. I think those are the only two good ones in Final Fantasy 1. Warrior of Light and Maya. Because Garland's, I'm pretty sure, isn't stacking. A lot of Darkness characters have crappy glints. Like Sephiroth, for instance. But anyway, that's Tier 2 in a nutshell. Yeah, Marie has a bad glint too. Some of the ones that are interesting, I should go over this right now, is it is April 22nd. Or at least it is April 22nd in my part of the world. Japan didn't get their Animal Lens update until June. Or December. It was December. But the same thing, because of the 6-month time lapse. So we got this stuff really early. We got it before Veil 4. And so we're going to have some stuff available for us for Veil 4. And for Alexander that Japan did not. Specifically in Tier 2, I'm thinking of... let's see. Renoa. Or rather, Squall. Glint 1 is a stacking and ice. Renoa doesn't benefit until Tier 3. And she's one of the ones that gets a ton of stuff at Tier 3. Yeah. For USB 2 and USB 3. I guess Renoa's... you know, whatever, because her USB 1 is already ice and it's already extremely good. But her USB 2 is start battle with, or it's one of them, 2 or 3. Is in an ice brave mode, which is pretty good. Laguna's USB 2 is ability double. Machinist, which is pretty awesome. Adia USB 2 is Row Quick Cast whenever she uses an ice ability. This is all really good stuff. Sarah. No, not Sarah. Lulu. I was wrong ice girl. Lulu's Glint, which is great because she has her only other way to provide her with an ice, well, on command, is her USB, and her USB is pretty old, so it's not that great for 500 soul break points. But anyway, I mean, I'm personally pretty crazy about Lulu's Glint. Adia, USB 1 is an ability double. It's not outdated. Ability doubles thrive when you have an awakening, so you don't have to worry about blowing through your ability uses, because you can just cast awakening and then boom, all those uses come back for 15 seconds. Yeah, I also have Lulu's Woke, so Lulu's Glint sounds great. I'm not gonna get it until I try Veil 4 out a little bit, because Lulu's not the important part of Veil 4. Because she can't summon. But Lulu, Glint, and Sarah USB 2. Where is it? Sarah USB 2 is... yes, even if you have 0 hones left on an ability, you can use it during an awakening. Sarah's USB 2 is party 75% Ice Radiant Shields and High Quick Cycle. So that's huge. Noel USB 2. There's a lot. I mean, Snow USB 2. There's so much ice stuff here that we're going to have available to us in Japan today. For all those that saw my Shiva video, Papa Limo's USB is here, if you haven't beaten Shiva yet. It's a really good USB. And there's one other similar USB that got added. Squall USB 3. It's his fire version of that, I think. I know his USB 2 works that way. Oh, okay, so it's USB 4. What, you know, whichever. Both of them are available here, so it doesn't matter. Oh, for the person that said that chains don't show up in the update, check it out. Rude, Earth Chain, Alina Fire Chain, which is interesting because Alina's Fire Chain did not come out too long ago. Cecil? Right? Yeah, Paladin Cecil's Holy Chain. Vayne Dark Chain. Vayne's Dark Chain did... That's not right. I'm pretty sure Vayne's Dark Chain is there. So I just found an error on my page, which is just kind of useful. Let me check. Yeah, paying for a free chain would make anybody sad. So do not miss the free chains when they come out. I use the Japanese release order. So I don't care what order they were released in global. Just because there's no reason to change it up, since that's the order that we use, because we see 6 months ahead, so there's no reason for us to change what we've been doing just because they got released at a different time for global. The Record Lab is really, really poor load times. Yeah, Vayne's Chain is in the shop. Now, moving past just ice things that came out, and this just remind me, no, the screen is not frozen. There are some really powerful, just straight up USBs that came out in this update. First, I guess I'll stick to healer stuff, because healer USBs are the most used USBs in the game. Sarah's USB 2 is excellent. Let's see. So, for this, I can switch back to this so you can see what I'm looking at. So Sarah's USB 2 is Instant Cure Augmetica, Last Stand, and Brave Mode. And the Brave Mode at level 3 is instantly restore, is like Cure Augmetica. And remove delay from their actions for 1 turn. I don't know what kind of quick cast that is, or if that's instant cast, because their wording is inconsistent on that. But remove delay sounds like it gives everyone instant cast for a turn, which is absolutely kind of crazy. So shit, you know, this is probably all the heals that you need for Final Fantasy 1 for ever. Last Stand, Heal Brave command, instant cast 1. Oh, it's instant cast 1 on Sarah? It says their actions. Yeah. And Party is just crazy. Better than her Awakening? I don't know what her Awakening does. But it doesn't matter, because her Awakening is not going to be available for Animal Lenses. Anyway, that's one of the super-powered USBs. Two doesn't have anything super-powered, but the best healer in the realm, Hilda, does have a good USB. It's considerably better than anything that was available prior to this, which is 100% increase in defense, Cure Augmetica, and Last Stand of Party. And why this is so important is because, yes, Troll. Minwoo wants to be freed up to deal damage because he's one of the best damage dealers in the realm. So you don't want Minwoo being your healer. Oh yeah, I should activate the bot. Oops. Great. I have to go through the load screen again. Minwoo was my healer for the Torment, but it's not a great situation. Final Fantasy III. Aria's USB was already available, and Final Fantasy III is very similar to Final Fantasy II, where Aria becomes the realm healer because you want to free up Arc to do damage. It's not as bad as 2 because there's more damage dealers in 3, or better damage dealers in 3. Yeah, but that's not a heal Soulbreaker, so I'll get to that later, Adia. But Arc did get his USB 2 available, which is DPS. So, nope, nothing in Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4. Well, Final Fantasy 4 certainly had a good healing soul break added to the USBs. It's one of the best in the game. It's just a copy of Alaris, which makes it awesome, and is on a character that has support 4 access for those for times when Wrath is a nice thing to have. So that's pretty amazing for Final Fantasy IV. I don't think Porom had anything added. No, she didn't. Final Fantasy V, unfortunately, is the realm of Lena. Lena does not get good until next festival. But she does get her USB 3 added to this. But it's a little weird. It trades away the high quick cast 2 to your entire party, which is disgusting. For increase your party's water and ice resistance levels by 1. It is instant cast. That's something she hadn't had up until this point. But she still only has Dancer 4. And it's just an all-around bad healer. But she gets really good in 2 months. So. On a particularly good banner during the next festival. Banner 3. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Hopefully it stays, her stuff stays there. It probably will, because Bartz is a headliner on the banner with his sync. No, it's the one that I just looked at. Delay of the user's actions. And it's only for 15 seconds. Okay, so that's Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI. Well, Realm doesn't need a super-powered USB because hers is already available. Hers was one of the first or one of the first in the game. So that's been out for a very long time. Final Fantasy VII, Aerith is already available. Final Fantasy VIII, Selfie Stinks. Final Fantasy IX, Eiko gets 2 new USBs and one of them isn't bad. I'd rather it was more protective. But Eiko's Brave is Kiraga Medica, crit chance 50% to party, and Brave mode. And the Brave command is a Medica with 2000 HP stock. I wish it was more protective. Eiko USB 1 is definitely not retired. You would want to use both of these at the moment. Eiko gets a little better for healing later. But she's still a good healer because she has a really good trance mode, which gives her quick cast for 25 seconds, and a mind buff along top of that. So that alone made her a pretty good healer, and this stuff is pretty nice at the protective job. Final Fantasy X, Yuna does get, finally gets a good healing soul break. Kiraga Medica, Magic Blink 1, and Brave mode. Yep. And the same Brave command as Eiko, which is a Medica with 2000 HP stock. This is good for Yuna because Yuna doesn't have Eiko's USB 1. She has shit. Just crap for Medicas and healing potential. Before this point, of course. And this changes that. Trance is more than just a different change of clothes. Why their clothes change when they trance, nobody knows. Final Fantasy XI, Aphmau is the same. Final Fantasy XII, Penelo, one of the best ones available here. One I probably plan on picking up. Because Penelo's is good by itself, and it really combos well with her Awakening. So what Penelo's does is instantly Kiraga Medica, instant cast 1 to the entire turn, and it, for 15 seconds, it gives her dances a Medica chase. So what you do is you combo this together with her Awakening. Because her Awakening has a damage reduction barrier chase on all of her dances. Because she uses a Dancer Awakening. And both of these together basically make your team indestructible, while she also has the ability to keep Medica, keep on medicating the party for instant cast 1 charges. She's extremely good. This is probably one of the best things you can pick up with lenses right now. NRLM2 can proc, but it's tough to even say if it's worth using at that point. It's just too much healing. You'd be healing like 20,000 HP a turn. Or healing and protecting a value of 20,000 HP. But just having 2 chases going off during dances, and Passion Salsa is already an extremely good ability. Final Fantasy 13. Vanille gets her third soul break. Her third USB. I think it's fine. I have it. I used it. Kiraga Medica. Okay, it's actually kind of similar to Lena's, except I would say that this one's better. Because there's no dancer in Final Fantasy 13. It is the Passion Salsa debuff. So Kiraga Medica, regen to party, and attack, magic, defense, and resistance down for all enemies. It's alright. Vanille is actually kind of disappointing to me. She has an amazing awakening, but doesn't really have good soul breaks to combo with it. Because you can only use awakenings once. And that's why healer awakenings are so damn important. Or healer USBs. Because they need something to cast. You know? Repeatedly. She does have Wrath, but I think Vanille does get a USB 4, and it's what makes everything good. I just wish it was available on lenses. Let me check it. Oh god, yeah. And it's not on next festival, it's the next Final Fantasy, not the next Final Fantasy 13 event, but the one after. The really good Final Fantasy 13 event. It's only a Cura Medica, but it gives Regenga and High Quick Cast 3 to party. So she sacrifices her Kiraga Medica, it gets knocked down a level, but adds a charge of High Quick Cast over Alara and Rosa, which is just filthy. And it's on a really good banner, so it may not be available for lenses for a very long time. But luckily it's on. It's not, you know, in the middle of nowhere on a banner full of, you know, Saz's trash gear or something, you know. That's the banner with Lightning's Limit Break. Sarah Awakening, a whole bunch of good stuff. But it's after next festival. Alright, Final Fantasy, that was 13. 14, yeah, this is one of the better ones too. Up there with Pinello. Is Catgirl gets her Brave mode, which is kind of an interesting side grade to Aerith's USB 2, but just for magical teams. Which is Instant Kiraga Medica, Magical High Quick Cast 3 to party. And, you know, sometimes in some ways that can be better for Y'shtola, because Y'shtola can actually use magical attacks to take advantage of her own magical high quick cast, while Aerith doesn't have any physical attacks to use hers. So, I don't know, that's a little something. But anyway, the Brave command is one of the better Brave commands, and that's a Medica and a Last Stand. And with the way that you generally use something like Aerith's USB 2 and Y'shtola's USB 2 is the same cycle. In that you use it, you do 2 actions, and then you cast it again. Because that's what'll allow you to keep out the magical high quick cast on the entire party, perpetually. So by starting out at Brave level 2, all you're going to take is one action, and then you Medica, Last Stand, then cast the USB again. Anyway, it's one of the best soul breaks that is available with this lens update. $15, unfortunately, no new Iris stuff. They left Iris alone for a while, so we're not going to see Iris's excellent USB 2 for a bit. Or is it USB 3? I don't know, because they did a few Final Fantasy 15 things lately. But anyway, Iris got really good, but really fast and not too long ago, so it wasn't included on this. Final Fantasy Tactics, all my gets are USB 2, but it's not good. Nope, no Avelia. So, instant cure Agamedica and a 100% dark stone skin. And a 2000 HP stock. I hesitate to say that it's bad because 100% dark stone skin is actually really good. But only in a very specific situation. And I wouldn't use this if I didn't have Alma's other stuff. Alma got some other stuff recently that made her pretty damn good. I didn't have it listed. I can check that because I did miss Vane's chain. Nope, still only USB 1 for Ovelia. Christmas stick. Type 0. Deuce does get a new USB. It's nothing special though. Oh, actually, that's pretty good. It's not a speed trick, but speed tricks aren't as important in Type 0. Because Rem is the primary damage dealer in the realm, and she high quick casts herself with her USB 1 and her Awakening. So this is an extremely protective soul break, and it's very, very good at that. 100% resistance and last stand to party. It's better than I remember it being. And last, not least, not the best, but situationally awesome. No, Rem's Glint is not, and I'm pretty sad about that. It's core. Alara. Kiraga Medica, 50% crit damage to party, and quick cast to herself for 15 seconds. Use carefully. There are many times where you're going to use this, but it's not going to do anything because the 100% crit that your party most likely has is probably enough already to cap most of your attacks. So by using this, you're not providing that much damage to the party while losing 500 soul break points while not providing high quick cast 2 to the party. So it may not be worth using, but there will be situations where when this thing is allowed to do what it's supposed to do and give the, if you can capitalize on that 50% crit damage, this is an amazing situational soul break. Sephiroth and Cloud benefit the most from it, yes, because they don't They don't worry about damage caps. So they have room to breathe. And when you got room to breathe, this thing shines. And I know it's not a healing soul break, but while I'm here in core, I will show the thing that Alara's USB 2 pairs with so well. That's Arbiter's Tome. Tyra's USB 4. Just use it. Take 5 support actions, and all of a sudden your entire team has a 100% crit rate. This is currently what I use on my physical teams. Did it for fire, did it for water. Did I use it on Earth too? I think I did. Time I start in the pulls? I don't know. After I finish going over banners. Right now I'm at the record lab, and it's only an hour until event time. I'm probably not going to make it. So maybe 6:30? An hour and a half from now? Hour and a half? Yeah, I started early for a reason. It's going to be a lot of going over stuff, analysis. Nice, Eraser. Does playing it non-stop mean you like it so far? Is there a reason to use USB 4 over Awakening? These days, not really. The Awakening has 30% attack and defense, and every third turn, every third support ability you use, it provides, you know, a crit damage buff to the party. The only thing USB 4 has over that is the ability to cast it more than once, so you're not... That's technically not using the USB 4 over the Awakening. The other is USB 4 comes with generic high quick cast, while the Awakening only support quick cast. So if there's anything else that you want to do with Tyro during the status, and back in the day, the USB 4 used to be really good with this, was for using a 5-star Magicite. But since Magicites are instantaneous now, not a big deal. So now what Paper brought up is that if you have another Soul Break for him that you want to use, like his OSB in Phantasms, like Healing Grimoire, because it's actually a pretty powerful Medica for 250 Soul Break points. So there's no... Well, I'm talking about the reasons why you would right now. It's just, you want to make that decision really carefully, because the faster you use 5 support abilities, the faster you get up to 100% crit rate. So you want to try not to be doing anything else other than using support abilities. But if you have to, you have to. Yeah, Healing Grimoire is unique now. It's gone down from 750 at its debut to 250. And it's a Curaja Medica. It's probably going to full heal your party, as long as you dress Tyro for Mind. Okay, so that was the Healing Soul Breaks. Now I'm going to talk about the much fewer amount of powerful Soul Breaks that aren't Healing Soul Breaks. I might as well start from the one that's just in my head right now and I can't get it out. Oh, hey, you're right. You're right, it was 1,000. I don't know why I thought 250. Or 750. Vayne USB 2 probably makes him remarkably good for all content, including Phantasm, because it's a brave mode that gives instant cast 1 to party, 10 physical attacks, or 10 hybrid attacks, and it gives him in dark. There's so much shit going on here. It feels like an over budget USB. No, it's an OSB Brave command. And Vayne himself is a very good character. So you're not punished by just bringing this to the party. He's a 35% chance to dual cast with dark abilities. His USB 1's pretty damn good too, but it's almost criminal to use 500 soul break points on this instead of his just casting this whenever you can, his USB 2. Okay, that was 12. Let's see, Type 0, Ace USB 2, Rem USB 2. Rem's a USB 2 is a trap. Jack USB isn't bad, but not what I'd consider, a standout. Delete a USB 2. Gladiolus USB. No. Gladiolus USB's fine. It's just probably something a lot of Gladiolus Awakening users have been waiting for because it's a hell of a lot better way to get him on Earth than his BSB. Noctis USB 2. Papalimo USB. That's a standout. Oh, and a Crow. USB is very good. And Coffee. I'm sure you've heard us talking about it. What's nice about Anna Crow's USB is specifically it was the only way for her to get on Earth. Other than her awakening. So people that managed to get her awakening were kind of left without a way for her to use her properly. Thancred, Alphino. I guess Alphino's USB 2 is worthy of note because he has a chain holder. I don't have his chain, so I kind of... But I do have his USB 2, so I gloss over it personally. But it's actually a pretty good Brave mode with a Wind Radiate Shield. So those are always going to be good on chain holders. Null USB 2, talked about that already. Sarah USB 2, talked about that already. Sid Rain's USB 2 is an ability double. Pretty good. Oh, Von, you still stink. Sorry. Prish, USB 2 ability double. Waka, his USB 2 is the only way to get him in water other than his awakening. So, similar to the Anna Crow's situation. Yes, but her new USB doesn't heal. It's unfortunate. Oh wait, no. They didn't add her new USB. They added her USB 2, which does heal, but it's still not that good. Yeah, I'm counting back from the last realm. Marcus, Kuja, Freya, Vivi. No, Seraphy. Well, I don't have that on the list. Maybe they did add something for Seraphy. Nope, not even in the shop. Character doesn't exist. Renoa and Squall both got 2 new USBs. I already talked about the Squall's Fire USB, very good. Both of Renoa's USBs are good. More the Earth one, because that's a better way for Renoa to get an Earth. I did not talk about Balthier USB 2. It doesn't seem that special. I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't stand out. It's just, okay, this fire damage dealer gets a fire damage dealing USB. Reno USB 2. Vincent USB 2. I mean, I used it in both the Shiva fights. It is not bad at all. Red 13 USB 2, I believe, is an Earth Radiant Shield. Good thing for a chain holder. Cloud USB 3. I mean, it's almost essential if you don't have Cloud's Dark Awakening for Dark Cloud. But Dark Cloud, let me warn you right now, he is not good. Yeah. Red 13 USB is also party Instant Cast 1. So that's an excellent support soul break for a chain holder. Strago USB. Strago, up until this point, did not have... well, that's not even true. His USB doesn't give him in water. Strago's USB is actually kind of similar to Red 13's USB. In that it's party Instant Cast 1. Water Radiant Shield on a chain holder. Just a super thing to have on your chain holder. His BSB is what gives him water. And honestly, on a character with... an Instant Cast 1 USB like that, it's almost criminal to use those 500 soul break points on something else. It may give the Strago the ability to deal damage, but... And then this is Chain version Strago. If you're using Awakening version Strago, that's a completely different story. Because then he is an actual damage dealer. Shadow USB 2 is very good. That's a dark clone of Yuffie's USB 2, and shown how damn good that is recently. Celeste USB 2 is very good. She's a chain holder and a somewhat competent DPS, as long as you can get her an element, and her USB 2 is the way you refresh her N-Ice. Or even give her N-Ice at all. And it gives Row physical high quick cast. So, Celeste USB 2 is one of the better buys here. Locke USB 3 is... His USB 2 is already available, and his USB 2 is the good one. Terra USB 2 is Gogo USB is a better way than his BSB to give him in water. Gogo's USB is actually hilarious. Because it's very Gogo. I suppose his glint is the best way to give him on water, but... Yeah, it's, Mimicry. So, instantly grants haste and last stand to party. Gives him M water, and mimics the last two actions. Or, mimics the last action twice. Honestly, really good. And he's a chain holder as well as an awakening user. A more damage-oriented version of Strago. Creel, both of her USBs are good. She's very similar to... Renoa, in that Creel's USB 1 is a rank-based chase for fire, so her Creel's Fire Brave is kind of whatever. But her Earth Brave is now the best way for her to get an Earth, other than potentially if you want to use her Glint instead. But with how hard it is to keep Tier 2 lenses in stock, you're probably going to love the fact that she can get it on a good USB. Strago and Water Glint, no. Ferris is USB 3 and 4. Her USB 3 is Imperil and a chance of Imperil when using Thief abilities. Hunting Bow is... this is her Brave. No, unfortunately, Strago's still his only way to get N water, other than his Awakening, is his BSB. So I think this Defense Resistance Mine debuff is important for something. Maybe Titan. I think I use the word important a little too liberally, because I don't think it's really that important. You can make Cloud do big numbers during Phase 3 with that, I suppose. X-Death USB 2. Oh, I'm already at 5. I think this is just a Brave, nothing special. Yeah, it's an Imperil Brave. Nope. Galoof USB 2. I used it versus Roma. That's nothing special, though. Tele USB. I believe it's the only way for Tele to get an Earth other than his Awakening. And as long as you have a Healer Awakening that can revive people, it's actually kind of interesting. Skipping Bart's USB 3. Did I? Yeah, I did. I shouldn't have, because Bart's USB 3 is pretty good. It's the best way for Bart to get in Wind. And Row Physical High Quick Cast. So it's just a Wind version of Celeste's USB 2. Very good. So it takes a little work to get Tele's USB to work well, because it kills him at the end. But it's not an ability double, it's just a dual caster. So you can combo this with his Awakening to triple cast. So if you have a way to revive Tela, he's actually up there with Anacro for how powerful of an Earth Mage he is. But it's just, it takes a lot of work to get it to where Anacros is just nuts and there's no way to stop her. Golbez, also a similar USB to that, where rather than ability double, his second cast is free, but has conditions. You just need to have the Stone Skin active. And when the barrier fades, the Stone Skin fades, it does, I think, a finisher. But regardless, this is really powerful with Golbez. Awakening, because it allows him to triple cast, or quad cast if you have his dual cast materia. And I think this one is in some ways maybe a little better than Dark Cecil's version, because there is a extremely powerful healer that's really good at providing stone skin to people. In fact, Shola with her awakening provides 70% stone skin barriers to people. So she could perpetually keep this status active. And Ishtola is also a mage healer, and that's why I reference her as being a good combo with Golbez. Yeah. With Dark Cecil, basically what you want to do is keep on casting the USB to keep refreshing it, because you never want it to drop. Golbez, it is actually beneficial for it to drop before a recast. Well, Tails, you know what I'm going to ask you. What's it for? What are you doing it for? What fight are you going to use her in? There's no reason to complete a character for the sake of completing a character. You gotta have... There needs to be something for them to fight. Zero chaos. I believe so, yes, Senkichi. Stone Skin used to be sometimes a hindrance way back in the day, but it has definitely changed. It's actually really awesome now. It's like a better version of HP stock. The HP stock has its moments because of surging power on Medines. Anyway, Golbez's USB 2 is excellent. Rydia... Exact same situation as Renoa and Creel. Where Rydia... Oh, no, it's not the exact. Rydia's USB 2 is the good water soul break. So, this is a very good situation for Rydia. Before, her only way to end water was with her USB 1, which is not good. But now she gets her USB 2, which is very good. Yes, Rydia gets her USB 2 and 3. Her USB 2 is a water chase, and her USB 3 is an earth brave. Both very good things for Rydia. Because her options for getting an element on her were one of the reasons why I prioritized her for so long. Because literally the only way I could get an earth on her was with her BSB, which, meh. Because her start battle with an element, LMRs aren't in the shop. She's stuck with a crap LMR, because those haven't been updated. Yeah, I'd rather a self buff and a chase than a party buff. Well, for most people, it's just their first LMR. There's only a couple, like Warrior of Light, Zidane, and Tifa. Just consider those to be exceptions to the rule, and the rule otherwise is fairly consistent. Paladin Cecil, nope, your USB sucks. Lunat's USB isn't bad. Ark's USB is his water USB. Onion Knight, there we go, there's a good one. Onion Knight's USB 3, finally. It's a very good thing to combo with Sync Onion Knight. Yeah, it's Ark's Water USB. I think. I'm pretty sure his Brave is his third USB. Nope, you're right. Why did I think it was the other way around? Okay, well, never mind. Ark does get a good healer USB. So Arya hasn't dethroned him yet, if you're only making your healer out of animal and stuff. Okay, Glint, dislike very much. It's 250 soul break points for not a whole lot of benefit. But Onion Knight USB 3, excellent. It's a Bart's USB 1, and yeah, I don't use Bart's USB 1 much anymore, but then again, mage teams are very different, and Onion Knight brings a lot more to a party than Bart's does. Fearing USB 2 is not good. God, Final Fantasy 2 sucks. Final Fantasy 1, Garland finally gets a good soul break. Well, I think for the most part, yeah, probably Zenkichi. But the Spellblade finisher is still useful, because it, I think, doesn't that give rank? No, it's his glint that gives rank. This just straight up increases damage of Spellblade abilities. This could potentially be better if Bartz needs help with his damage output. This increases the damage potential of whatever you use it with, while the USB 1 adds on damage in the form of a chase. So it really depends on what you need Bartz to do. If Bartz is having trouble breaking cap, which happens often, this could be better. And plus it has an OSB finisher, which is useful in 6-star, 5-star, Odin. It takes a lot of soul break points to use that version of Bartz, though, because that you would need to use an element, then the USB 2, then Awakening. Or I guess you could use it on off phases while you're not using the Awakening. I'd have a lot of misgivings about using Bartz on a team without his Awakening. Because he's just so difficult to end element. I'm almost positive I'd rather use a specialist instead. Tails, you know what the answer to that is. Same as always. Alright, so back to Final Fantasy 1. Garland, yeah, finally gets a good USB. It ain't great, but it's good if you got his Awakening. Where it's just a dark chase USB with the chase number of hits is based upon your heavy charge. I really dislike heavy charge. Until they add a 6-star version of the ability that can charge up your heavy charges, fuck heavy charge. Or unless you're Sync, who doesn't use charges at all. She just creates them out of thin air. Maya. Maya's USB is very good. No LMRs are added. Yeah, this is a great USB. I'm gonna stay away from glints. Is there any special glints that aren't just, okay, I give an element stacking to this character, I am an awesome glint? Is there anything that stands out? Tyro? Tyro's Asuna glint. It's actually pretty useful. Ishtola's is good. It's a glint version of a glint plus. Quistis is a little weird. It's just Stone Skin and Protect and Shell. I don't know if I would suggest picking up that just for like Torment, because that Torment's really easy. Because Garo sleeps at the start of a phase and Gravagas at the start of a phase. So it's really, really something you don't want to put a lot of valuable resources into. Now, Dark Cecil's glint's bad. So, Haste Shell and Major Regen at party for Ishtola's. Someone else has something similar to that, too. Forget who. Let's see. Ace, nope. Galita, nope. Noctis, Glint 2. I talked about that a little bit, though. Yeah, it must have been Sarah. I know Vanille's gives her haste. Or gives the party haste, but it also gives her, like, high quick cast 3. Which is kind of cool, but it is different enough from Ishtola's. Ash, Balthier Von. Todoyame. Oron, Lulu, Yuna. Yuna's is weird. Yeah, I don't like Yuna's. She gets better glints later. Tidus. Steiner gets another Stone Skin glint. It's... yeah. I wanna boast. I didn't realize Steiner's USB 2 wasn't in this wave of animal lenses, so... Steiner is notoriously kind of a bad character, but I've got a really good version of Steiner, so I can't complain. Refia, right? Did someone mention Refia? So I have Steiner's USB 2 and his Realm Chain. And that's it. That's all you need to make him quite awesome. And by that's all you need, none of that is available for animal lenses. And it's impossible to pull for him because he's never on a good banner. Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up Refia's Glint. Because being able to provide yourself with a chase from a Glint is awesome. So take the Bart's conversation that we had with his USB 1, for instance. You're not using his USB 1 for anything other than the chase. The quick cast buff is okay, but hopefully you're getting some form of that from the rest of your party. So if I could get rid of everything on Bart's USB, except for the chase, and drop it down to 250 soul break points, I would take that trade in a second. And that's Refia's Glint. Isn't Zell's Glint, it provides him stacking, or an increase in crit chance buff? Right. Yeah, that's different. I want the chase. Golbez has one of those crappy dark glints, doesn't he? Oh, well, that's actually... that's better. "15 seconds of quick cast and a darkness plus 30% boost. That's actually better. Because that's has some good Phantasm usage. It's the 15 seconds of quick cast that make it good. Because in party teams, it can be hard to get quick cast for the entire fight. So, I mean, you do have access to Rose's USB 2 and Allegro on Edward if you're using Edward. So maybe not. Maybe it does actually seem to be a fair amount of quick cast for mages in Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, but stacking is... Meh. Quick cast has heavy diminishing returns on stacking. You don't want to go too deep on it. This plus Allegro Komodo, fine. 2 versions of just plain old quick cast, that's cool. I like that. But this on top of something like Rose's USB 2 going off every now and then and Allegro Komodo, now you're going a little too deep. Because that means the quick cast from this isn't really doing much. So it's really not worth the 250 soul break points anymore. Alright, it looks like that's it for special glints. Nope. I guess I'll look at one more Paladin Cecil. He's got some weirdo ones. Because he is a big weirdo. This is a Moonanite. So he gets stacking in Holy and quick cast. Jeez, this is actually a really good glint. Oh yeah, so that's the Animal Lens lab. Really nice update. I will 100% positively buy Rosa's USB if I do not get Rosa's USB in the polls today. Pinello's USB 2 is pretty much a lock. Because I have Pinello's Awakening. So, and her Awakening USB 2 go together so well. No, I'm not gonna start pulling yet because I gotta take a look at the actual banners. Paladin Force used to be the big schlong. Clip? Yeah, actually, it's a good idea. Yeah. Did you know that the thing that actually gets Cecil up to a standard of a decent character again is his hero ability, and his hero ability is called Paladin Force. But yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna clip that whole segment because I'm sure people are gonna want to listen to what's available in the record lab on their commute or something.